the activities or the work that it takes to kind of do it. We thought the guy in real estate does not have to work. But it doesn't work that way.
Recording in progress.
All right, well, nice to see everybody. I know a lot of the faces here. There is some new faces for you guys that don't know who I am. My name is Garrett Rowe. I was the team leader here for 6 years. After Rob was the team leader, I stepped down last February. After 6 years of doing it, I enjoyed it. I loved it. About year 5.5, I got pretty burnt. And year 6, we were looking for my replacement for about 6 months before I was like, I gotta go. I can't do this anymore. Not that I didn't want to do it anymore. It's just I just didn't want to do it anymore. More than anything, it was a lot of fun along the way. A lot of great memories. I'm still a part of the family. If you haven't seen me, it's because when I left, I said I was going to take about 6 months into hiding. Because no matter who was replaced, I didn't want to hear people, well, Garrett did this. Why did they do it this way? I just didn't want to hear any of that, so I stepped away. I have an office in the corner. I'm here now, and all that fun stuff. If you don't know my story, I was a new agent in 2015, brand new to real estate. I was out of college. I worked for Target. I got hired as they called it an executive team leader of an area. In a Target store. I did that for about 2 years, and then I went out to Michael's distribution center because it was local and it was supposed to be Monday through Friday mornings and no holidays. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. It was a freaking nightmare. I worked insane hours, about 60 to 70 hours a week. My first daughter was born, and I saw her 1 week on a Sunday, and I said, screw this. So I quit and got my real estate license. I had a baby daughter. I had a wife who was in her first year of teaching when I did it, which amounted to about like $38,000, which was nothing. I had a mortgage, and I said, I got to make real estate work. So I got into real estate. The first year, I had some success. I came into Ignite. I didn't know what I was doing. I treated it like a job. I was here every day. I took Ignite 2 or 3 times. I took every class that was here because, quite frankly, I didn't know what else to do all day. Because if I went and lead generated for 2 or 3 hours and you have no business, what else is there to do? So I just came to everything and made it work. About the end of my 3rd year, they approached me about getting into leadership. I said, how the hell am I going to help anyone in real estate? I'm barely figuring it out myself. And so I ended up going that route through a lot of convincing on their part. I became the team leader in 2018, and then I stepped down last year, and now I mainly focus on investment real estate. The thought of going back to full-time dealing with people isn't super exciting to me, so I'm doing a lot of my own stuff. So if I buy a $300,000 in Cal City, I have a great flip that just hit the market. I really enjoy that stuff. I used to teach every Friday at 8:30 here, wealth building. We did different investments from buys, flips, holds, BRRRR methods, to we even dove into some stock strategies. I'm not an expert in any of those things, but it was just like, hey, we're all on this journey together. Who wants to come join and learn together? And we just did different things together along the way. It's a lot of fun, and now I'm just kind of focusing on that. Any questions on who I am? All right, you guys excited?
Yes.
All right, what are we learning today? Keep every lead. All right. So I have questions. I go off on tangents. I don't normally follow the book. So if you have a question on what this is, stop me if I'm going too far off. I have a lot of experience in helping new agents. I have a lot of experience in helping top producing agents. My job as a team leader is to bring in more money to this market center to drive the profitability. How do I bring in more money to the market center? I bring in more agents, right? And not only just new agents, I bring in top producers. So what draws top producers to an office? Anyone have a guess?
Training.
Training? What else?
Opportunities.
Opportunities? Opportunities?
Yeah, resources.
Resources?
Yeah.
Right? So most top agents, they don't care about a lot of these classes or anything because they think they already know everything, right? So you have to be the leader or the path that helps them get to what they want, where they're at. And most top agents are stuck on one thing. It's just not enough time, right? Every agent has one of two problems. It's either you don't have enough money or you don't have enough time. right? I don't have enough money because I don't have enough leads, I don't have enough business. That's 90% of agents. And then it goes to I don't have enough time because they don't understand the business models of real estate. They don't know how to set up a team function correctly to free up time where they can spend more time with the family, stuff like that. So you figure out what their obstacles are, and you show them that you could be the guiding light to get them to where they want to go, right? And Keller Williams does all that through these courses. And believe it or not, when I was a new agent, a new team leader, I was thinking, I did pretty good for my first couple of years. My second year, I think I sold about 22 or 23 homes. I had good momentum, but I still was like, I don't know that much. And so I was really nervous about meeting with top producers. I've sold 40, 50 homes in a year. And believe it or not, 99% of them don't know anything about the business stakes that if they just took Ignite, they would be well ahead of where they are currently, right? A lot of them just know a lot of people, they're liked, and so business, it works for them, they figure out how to get business, but they have no idea about running a business. And Ignite solves 99% of their problems. So just knowing these classes, is this board actually good now? We got a pin?
Yeah, I have them.
Okay, cool. It's out of the way. So if you master this Ignite, you master these classes, you'll be better at understanding the 99% of the agents that are doing a lot of business currently in the markets, in the marketplace. And that was shocking to me because I would go meet with people and be like, let me see your CRM or your database, and let me see, what it looks like with your 36 touch program, and they'd be like, what's a database? I'm like, wait, what? Like, you did 40 deals last year. What do you mean you don't know what a database is? Like, I use my phone. I'm like, oh my gosh. And some of them know, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't know what a 36 touch is. A lot of them don't understand how doing an 8x8 and generating into a 36 touch program can generate so many leads. A lot of people don't know the basic things in real estate, which are taught in these classes, which is really good. So today we're going to be focusing on keep every lead. Why do we think that's important?
Are you asking us?
Yeah.
Well,
Why is every lead important?
because this is a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, right? It's the more people we know, the more people we talk to, the more opportunities that we have. I'm going to show you why it's important to keep every lead real quick in simple math. Can the board? Oh, here. See
The white marker's right there.
I got it in my hand, but I just see it. Zoom can see it.
I can turn the camera up there.
Okay. Sorry, Zoom.
This one right here. I'll just turn it.
Oh, okay, thank you. And you got to fix this camera too. Got it. Thank God we have Mondo. All right. So we know on average, just based off statistics, that 4% of the population moves each year. Right? Not these last 2 years. These last 2 years have been a funk, right? Where no one's moving because interest rates. We had all this great moving. Prices skyrocketed. Interest rates were low. Now we're living with those consequences, right? High interest rates. Nobody wants to move. Get out of their 3% interest rate lock. So there. But in general, 4% of the population moves. So if I ask you how many people are in your database, and you tell me you have, let's say 300, right? So if you tell me there's 300 people in your database, and I know 4% move every year, how many deals should I have of those 300 people? Or how many of those people are going to move? Anyone good at math? I'm sure I did 3 and 6%. How many? 12? I didn't check your math. Let's see. So if it's 1%, we got 3. We do that by 4. It's 12. Look at that. So 12 people move out of those 300. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you have 300 people in your database and you're not doing 12 deals pretty consistently, because, by the way, these people know people that are moving. So you should be at a lot more than 4%. But the bare minimum you should get is 4%. You should be at 8% to 10% of a return on your database, because if you do a great job with your database, these people refer you business, right? But the bare minimum is 12 people are going to move of those 300. So if you haven't done 12 deals with those 300, I know right away that you don't do a good job with touching your database. So it's really easy to dissect people's businesses when we dive into the numbers, because we know on average 4% move. So we say keep every lead, right? We're going to get into it and all stuff like that. I'm just showing you the quick math because this number gets to 1,000, right? Now we're talking 40 deals. I really should have just wrote that again. That was pretty bad, right? 40 deals are going to go in your database. Math is simple, right? Real estate is very, 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 very simple. We make it very complicated, but it's not. It's very simple. We don't do it. We don't do it can be hard at times to pick up the phone and to call people, or to find a reason to call people, or to do that event. But real estate is simple, right? I know if I could get 1,000 people into a database, and I know if I could touch them 36 times a year with valuable touches, email, postcards, newsletters, phone calls, Christmas cards, client events, stuff like that. The bare minimum I'm going to get is 4%. Bare minimum. Should be more. And that's 40 deals. Our average commission in this office is $305, something like that, last I checked. $9,135. Someone have a calculator and give me 40 times 9,135?
365,400.
365,400. Oh, but then we got that pesky cap. 21,990 cap and royalty. Someone do the math.
21,990. That comes to 343,410.
343,410. Boy, it would suck to make $343,000. Right? But this is the truth of it. This is the truth of it. The thing is nobody will do this part, the hard part, of actually being in contact with your database. Have you guys gone over the 36 touch yet? No? So I'm talking,
They mentioned it.
mentioned it. So all the 36 touch means is, if you have a database that we know that 4% is the minimum, right? But it should be more. But if you touch them 36 times a year, in the MREA it says 32 times, in MREA 2 that they're coming out with, it's going to 36, it's 3 times a month, 3 times a month. If you touch your database 3 times a month, you should get a return in the business of 4%, that many deals coming to you, right? So how do you touch people? That's up to you, it's your business. Some people are terrified to call or to text or do anything great, and do events, what do we got? What month is it right now? March?
St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's Day. So what can we do cute for St. Patrick's Day for our database? I don't have the money to do it. Okay, what are we going to do cheap? That's cute for St. Patty Day. We're going to do a Find the Leprechaun thing, and we're going to text everyone, hey, if you have kids, we're doing a fun Find the Leprechaun thing, and to find the pot of gold, and there's to be some clues. I don't know, ask ChatGPT, give me something cute. Figure it out, right? What are you going to do each month? And you're like, I don't know, what I'm going to figure it out. Okay, it's the first of the month. You open a calendar and say, what's going on in this month? We got St. Patty's Day. It's cold. Spring's coming, right? What can we do for spring? And what else? A deal of the month or something, right? Find 3 days of the month and figure out how you're going to communicate to your database. You can do an email, but that's very low level. I always recommend a monthly newsletter. That's one of the best things you could do, mailed, where people open it. It costs money, but that's an option, right? Just thinking what you can do to touch people to make sure things are successful. Make sense?
Yes.
So real estate is simple. We make it complicated, we make it hard, it gets complicated, right? But I'm telling you right now, if I could get 1,000 people, I could hire someone to do all my transaction work, all the paperwork, everything else, and I can make a ton of money and not do anything if I could just get 40 people that want to do a deal with me this year. And not know a dang thing about real estate. Right? I would make less money because I'd have to pay those people. But let's say I got someone that wanted to get a deal right now with me and I had 40 people. I'd go, hey, who here is licensed that would like to take this buyer because I don't know how to do it, but I want 50%, you get 50%. But I got a buyer that's qualified at $400,000. Who wants that? Right? Oh yeah, they're easy. Agents are easy to find, right? So even if we're nervous about not understanding our the process and everything like that, understanding this, finding the deals, finding the leads, finding the people will make you rich. You could be the dumbest real estate agent. I promise you, there's so many dumb real estate agents out in the market. Not us at Keller Williams, we're smart. But there are so many agents that are so dumb and you're like, how did they do this? And they make way more money than most of you. Like there's some agents when they want to do a deal, I'm like, oh my god. And like really do not want to work with this person because I know how dumb they are, and it makes me want to put a nail in my eye and put a hammer because they don't even understand real estate. And how do they keep getting business? They keep getting business, right? So all this, when there's new agents, a lot of times there's fear of, I don't know yet what to do, so I can't go out there and do. That's like one of the most common fears. I need to know everything before I can do anything. Those agents, 99% of the time, do not renew their license next year. In fact, 88% of you will not renew your license by the time it comes time for renewal.
Exactly.
Because the fear of not knowing. You know the agents that I've seen do the best? I get like anxious, like nervous for them as they're like gonna go door knock. I'm like, oh man, they're gonna look so stupid. But they conquer the fear and or don't have the fear, and they go, hi, you want to buy real estate? And they look stupid, and then they go, hi, I was just, and they look stupid, and then all of a sudden they start to get it, and they start talking to people, and all of a sudden they get a deal, and you're like, how did this guy get a deal? How do you do it?
We went out there.
I didn't even know you knew how to tie your shoes, right?
True story. My son-in-law came from Ecuador 2 months ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, no, 5 months ago. So I sent him to door knocking. I said, you have just this script with the open houses, and you have the opportunity to choose your neighbor. So if you know somebody who wants to move into this area close to you guys, here's the opportunity. So we got the listings out of the open house and door knocking from him.
It's just going out there and doing that. Jessica Dixon's one of my favorite stories. She started a year after I did, or 2 years after I did. What is this?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. Oh, great, breaking things. 2 years after I did, and she was like, I'm gonna be successful. She didn't care. She's like, I'm gonna be successful. I don't know anybody here. She didn't know anybody. She was an army wife. She moved out here, and she sat in this class, and she's like, I'm gonna go take a bunch of listings. Like, well, you're new. You know, you normally have to go get buyers. She was told that by a presenter up here, by the coach at the time, who's no longer with us because that was a stupid thing to say. He told her that. Well, you're new. You normally just get buyers. It's tough. She's like, that's dumb. So she went and knocked a bunch of doors. She took 4 listings her first month. First month. I thought I was good because I got a deal done my first couple months. I was like, yeah, I'm cool. She's like, oh, I got 4 listings. I'm like, what? How'd you do that? She hadn't feared. She just went and knocked on doors and started talking to people. And she's like, well, listings sound easier than buyers. I'm going to go do that. All right? So, this is where I talk about I go off on tangents. I'll try to follow along. But ask questions, get engaged, get involved. There's a lot of experience in this room. If you guys have any concerns, anything, fears, how you participate in here is how you participate out there. So if you're participating and involved, you are normally the ones, I've done this a bunch of times, guys. I did it for 6 years. We brought in 120 agents on average every single year. 120 new agents every single year. And guess what? We have about the same amount of agents as we did when I started. Because so many people come in, so many people go, yeah, but I could always spot the ones that are going to make it and the ones that do make it. When Andrew was new, I was like, dude, you're old, you have a license? Like, you old enough to drive? He's like a little baby over here, right? Like, good luck selling real estate. You don't even look like you're old enough to. Yet he was Rookie of the Year because he came in and he showed up and he put in the effort every single week, right? There's no excuse. I'm too young, I'm too old, whatever. Whatever excuse you tell yourself, nobody cares. Go out there and find people. That's all that matters. All right, let's jump into this. I promise you, I haven't looked at this, so it's going to be a learning experience for both of us. I'm just kidding. I've taught every night for a while. I just didn't know which one I was doing today. Okay, the life of the lead. This is one of my favorite drawings. If you've been into my classes, you've been to things I teach, which a lot of you have because I taught a lot over the last 6 years. But this is one of my favorite things to draw because this is the truth, more truth about finding success. All right, so they have a drawing of a life of a lead every 7 to 10 years where people move, right? I like to draw it a little different because I think it gives good clarity. All right. Right here is Legion, and this is escrow. And this is where most agents fail. And this is 3 to 7 years. All right. So over here in this corner is our lead gen. We're lead generating. Let's say I'm going to go do an open house. All right. Terrified. I've never done an open house. I'm just going to go figure it out. All right. I'll tell my open house story later because there's some new faces. My first open house. But let's say I'm doing an open house, and a couple walks in, and they're neighbors, right? They're nosy neighbors. And I start talking to them. Oh, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, are you guys neighbors? Are you looking at us? Oh, we're neighbors. We're just seeing. Oh, awesome. Well, what brought you guys here? We're just curious. Oh, have you guys consider moving? No, we're never moving anywhere. Well, if you could move, where would you go? Oh, we want to get back to Carolina or whatever. We have family out there. Oh, great. And if that, perfect world, when would that be? Oh, next, 3 to 4 years. That'd be great. Most people, like, they're nothing, right?
Good information
How?
already, yeah.
To me, that's pretty good. Are you guys planning on being in the business in 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna want business then, right?
Yes.
So here's our timeline, right? Our timeline of our life, 3 to 7 years. Most of us, when we go do an open house sucked, only 4 people came in. Okay, well, yeah, no one was ready to buy or sell, because we're looking for people right here that are ready to go in a month or 2 so we can get them into what? Into escrow so we can make some money, right?
Yes.
But the reality is when we lead generate, meet people, the timeline, the people are all over the place, right? Here's where all the people are going to be. Very rarely, and it's great, it does happen, we get them, well, we're actually thinking about buying. You go, woohoo, right? That's great. That's the gravy. But we're lead generating for these people because we want our business to be good over the years so we can add them to our database so we can make $343,000 a year soon. So everyone we meet, everyone we talk to is someone that's potentially going to move every 7 to 10 years. Make sense? Because most people move every 7 to 10 years. That's just on averages. 4% of the population moves every year. Normally it's about a 7 to 10 year life cycle. Right? Sometimes life circumstances make it change faster, slower, jobs, stuff like that. But most of the time, this is the people we're going to be finding. That make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
So when we meet these people, a good saying here is there are no bad leads, there's just what? Bad agents. Right? There is no bad leads, there's just bad agents. Which is true. I mean, there is bad leads, don't get me wrong. But right here is where we're going to find the bread and butter of our business making money over time. There are agents that are like, oh, I just wish my phone would ring and I'd get these calls. Well, to get to that point, you have to set up a system where every month you have a database and people are talked to through your database, through a phone call, through a newsletter, or stuff like that. And then all of a sudden your phone starts ringing with people that have business. Or, hey, my friend's moving, I told them they should call you. Right? So when your phone rings and someone's like, hey, I got a friend, or hey, we're moving, it's like, yes. All that listing presentation that you saw earlier, oh, looks so good, right? Who wants to not have to do that? You know what my listing presentation looks like? Hey buddy, how are you? Oh, great. Oh, so where we're moving to? Oh, over here, cool. Well, let's sign the paperwork and we'll get started. Okay. Right? Because most of the listings that you go on are friends, family, people know, love, and trust you. Now, you do need to go master, don't hear what I'm not saying. You do need to master the listing presentation. You do need to go get good at it because a lot of these people you are going to compete. But if you want those easy ones, those come list me's, where you take that whole listing presentation, it looks all pretty and throw it in the trash, all you do is bring over how much money they're going to make in the contract. You need your friends, family, loved ones, people that trust you to call you, right? When you get those calls. Now that you're going to need to go through it sometimes, there is circumstances, but it's great when you bring that thing and you throw it in the trash and you don't need it. Which is the majority of the listing appointments I've been on through my career. Now, I've lead generate through this people I know, like, and trust, and I build relationships. Now, if you're cold calling and you're getting people that are, hey, I'm thinking about listing, that you need to be on point for that. You need to have your listing presentation on point. You need to have those things going. But I'm just letting you know, if that scares you a little bit, that's okay. Practice it, get better, but a lot of the business you have will come from, you won't need that, which is great if you do this, the job right. Any questions on this, the life of the lead? Nope.
So Garrett, just to rephrase,
Mm-hmm.
really that 7 to 10, 3 to 7 year period is a nurturing period. Is that correct?
It's all it is a nurturing period, right? You're building rapport with these people. There's a pyramid basically of what people will use you. They have to know, they have to like, and they have to trust. Those are the three things they have to have with you, right? And you could be really good in an area and they'll be able to overcome another area, right? Let's say they really like me. They're like, he's so funny, I just love him. I don't know if I trust him, I think I do, but yeah, we'll go with it, right? Because if they really like me in that area. But they still need those three things, right? And if these people don't know me, there's no chance of them using me. I could build trust when I go meet with people and I could talk real estate, right? I could build trust real quick, you know, because what does everybody ask? How's the market?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know that answer, if you can't answer that answer, then the trust is going to be hard, right? Or I could spin off in 9 different directions. I don't care what you are, who you are, how you are, I'll make it work, all right? Because I understand the market. I pay attention to it, right? Best way to really learn it, best way to make yourself learn the market is do a newsletter every month and send it out to your database of how the market is. Because it makes you go research it. You know, on Gavar, you start reading, Googling some stuff, getting some people's opinions, getting on the internet. Like, I don't know how I'm going to learn. Well, you got to kind of start reading things, start researching. But it's a really good way to grow your rapport and your expertise. I strongly recommend you mail it out. You print it and mail it out. An email, most people will delete, not read. A mail, they'll open it up and read it. Like, oh, that's cool. Doesn't need to be long. It can be 1 page, page and a half. You can do a current market update, buyer's outlook, seller's outlook. But you need to do some family or some other stuff where people are interested in. Start with that so they care. Because if you just get some randomness, they'll throw it away. Strongly recommend that. Okay. In your books, I don't have the book in front of me. So let me know if there's pages that are supposed to be filled in with answers. Because,
We're on the 10-4.
okay, so 19 to connect. 4 touches, 4. Okay, let's do that real quick. So I called it a 36 touch or 8x8. There's terminology's changed, so it's 19 ways to connect. But in practice, in 86 or 1983, a marketing company was hired to see the effect of postcard mailings. They wanted to see how something would work. So they took a neighborhood of like 500 homes, and they made up a fake real estate agent, completely fake. And what they did is they mailed that neighborhood once a week for 8 straight weeks of something with the flyer of that agent. Then they called and surveyed that neighborhood. 61% of the people said the fake real estate agent was a realtor of choice. 61%.
Wow.
Right? And that's before internet, different noise, right? So from that, we called it an 8x8. 8 things for 8 straight weeks would get you on top of mind of somebody, right? To become able to know, they know who you are now. Know, like, trust, right? Now they might be able to know you. So we say an 8x8 leads to our 36 touch program. Let me explain this a little bit better. So I'm gonna get, if I start rambling and you get confused, just raise your hand. So to follow along, we'll all point and laugh at you for the question, but it's okay. You'll get over your fear. Thanks for the giggle. These blackboards look cool, but they're so stupid. It's so hard to erase. Okay, so I meet somebody at an open house. We're gonna call this person, this is Tom. Look at that drawing. And his wife, oh, what is that? What is it? And his wife, Sally. All right, Tom and Sally come into my open house. I meet them. I was pretty good at open houses. I'm good at connecting people right away. Tom walks in with the Raiders hat on. I go, hey man, so glad you guys come. Fortunately, they don't want like Raiders fans in here. It's like those are, they just don't want losers buying their house, right? I'll joke around with people. I'll build rapport. I'm like, it could be worse. You could be a Dallas fan. And I'll just joke and make relationships with people, right? I say, what do you guys do? Then you might be, oh, a teacher. Oh, great. What school district? Where are you working at? Well, I'm Lancaster School District. Oh, my wife works there. I find connections. Oh, I'm in aerospace. Oh, what program you on? I don't know anything about anything but aerospace, but I'm just gonna ask questions, right? Build rapport, connect with people, right? Tom and Sally leave my open house. I got their name and information. I'm going to put Tom and Sally on an 8x8. One I've already thought of, an open house 8x8. So what does that mean? I'm going to connect with them at least once for 8 weeks so they know who I am. Right? So, because we know by that survey, if we mail someone something 8 straight weeks, they're going to know who I am, so I'm going to follow up with them for 8 straight weeks. Now, you could fluctuate it, you could do different things, you can make things work your different own way. But this is just the basic standard. They come to my open house on Sunday, or on Monday, or my open house on Saturday. On Monday, I'm going to call and follow up. Hi Tom and Sally, it's Monday now, and unfortunately your Raiders lost. I just want to make sure you're still doing okay, right? Or whatever it is, right? I'm going to call and just check in. Do you guys have any feedback? The sellers were asking for any feedback on their property, what you think, what you like, what you didn't like. I don't really care. I'm just trying to build rapport, right? Oh, we like this. Awesome. Well, I think that, have you guys considered anything else? Are you looking for anything else? Oh, no, we're good at this time. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Friday, they're going to get a text message from me. Hey, Tom, Sally, I know you guys liked looking at open house last week. Would you like me to email you over all the open houses that are going on this week in the Allen Valley? How can we do that? Go into Flex, click open houses, and you see the houses that are going to open house. And then you go to the list, you send it over, right? It's not hard. And they might say, no, ignore, whatever. They might talk to me, they might not, right? But all I'm going to be doing is providing value for these people over the next 8 weeks, unless they tell me to, F off and leave me alone. Normally they don't, because I'm being kind. I'm going to try to follow up for 8 straight weeks, whatever that looks like, right? If I have got their email, they might get an email. They might get a text. They might get a whatever. So they're going to hear from me. Once they go through my 8x8, if they're not ready to buy, they're not now, maybe they say, hey, we're like 6 months up, but we really appreciate it. I'm going to move them to my 36 touch program. And this is where your whole database lives, right? Your 36 touch program. What's my 36 touch program? Whatever it is, your monthly newsletter, your phone calls once a quarter, your text messages, your emails, whatever it is. So you meet a lead, you build reports, they get to know you by an 8x8. Once they tell you no, hopefully during this time they want to buy or sell. That's great. Get an appointment, right? But if they don't get to that point, then they're going to go to our 36 touch program. So we're always staying in touch. Make sense?
Yes.
So we're coming at it as a valuable person that's trying to help them, that they know they could trust, and they're going to hear from you for a while. So when they think of real estate, they think of you. The average person can only hold about 150 people in their brain that they know, right? That's what they say. And they probably know 3 or 4 realtors because we live in California and everyone's got a real estate license, right? So how do we stay top? How do we stay top? We keep hearing from us 3 times a month. Oh, I got an email. Oh, that's not interesting. Oh, a newsletter. These newsletters are cool. I know what's going on in the market every month. If you're like, I don't know what, talk about interest rates or whatever, ask a lender. Hey, do you do a newsletter to agents? And then copy what they put in your newsletter, right? Get creative. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Let me see your book to see what I'm.
Yeah.
So
I was
then-
gonna show that this is the
Yep.
total is on 610 if you wanted to show that, but this is where you are.
Oh, okay, this is where I am. Yep,
Yeah,
that's on
10-4.
there. So 19 to connect, follow up, and do your annual 19 to connect plan. Okay. So it's saying doing your annual 19 to connect plan. I'm gonna let you guys kind of think that through on your. Let me see what this shows. Okay, we'll get there. All right. So yep, all this is basically saying is it's your possible business. This is our timeline that I just erased. People that you meet at open houses. Then you're going to be looking for that probable business. The people that are. Let me hit this button so people on Zoom can see. probable business, those people that say I'm going to be moving in 2 to 3 months, or are moving out from LA or whatever, those probable businesses are going to go top priority, and then you become a profitable business, right? And keeping everybody is super important along the way. Let's see, if you aren't first or second in their mind, you probably won't get the business.
Like I said, you need to be first to have any kind of opportunity.
A lot of people, I had
In my first year of real estate, I had met
a couple came into my open house, and they knew my older brother through rapport building. They knew who my older brother was. They were texting with them. We started talking, His wife, she was there. Her brother was a real estate agent, decent sized real estate agent in Antelope Valley. A lot of people know who he is. I said his name, and I thought, that sucks, right? Because they're not going to be able to get him because that's their brother. I still put him on this just because I was like, I don't know what else to do, right? So I still called and followed up, and he's like, yeah, that's my brother. And I was like, hey, no big deal, man. But if he's ever not available, I'm here for you. So I'd love to be your number 2. Guess what? Brother-in-law was treating him like family, put him on the back burner, and pissed him off. They called me. Hey, we're going to go see this house. Back then, this house was $510,000, $525,000, and back then I was like, holy crap, right? My biggest sale at the time was Heart of Court Sale, $310,000. I was so excited, like I should buy every house possible. And that was 10 years ago. Like that house is worth probably close to $1 million now. And I took him up to see it. We walked through it, they loved it. I had to write an offer. I was like, that's pretty freaking cool, right? Their brother is this guy, an agent. And it's funny, that guy never took an appointment from me. I tried to recruit him. I'm like, he probably hates me. Whatever, sucks for you. Take better care of your family. But you never know. True story, right? True story. You never know. I was staying up on it. He was treating him like family, like kind of back burner. And I'm like, maybe he knew, like, whatever. But I'm like, it's just business. You never know. Maybe I think the husband maybe liked him more, didn't like his brother-in-law, whatever. You don't know. You put the stories in your head when people come in and start saying, "Oh, my brother's a real estate or this or whatever." Great, awesome. Hey, I'd love to be your number 2 if they're ever not available or if something comes up, or if they get out of the business. It's great to be number 2. It's how I recruited people. I love my brokerage. Awesome. Happy agent makes the best agent. I wouldn't want somebody that hates where they're at. But hey, I'd love to be your number 2 in case something changes. Because I know in this world a lot of things changes, and if your business needs to change instantly, I want you to know where you're going to go instead of trying to figure it out at the time, right? So you need a house, and you find a house that you love, and you can't get a hold of the agent. I want you to know where you're going to go as your number 2 instead of trying to get on Google and figure out who's the agent. Same thing. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. All right. I talk a lot. Let's have some ahas. Let's share. Let's ask questions.
So you don't have to just listen to my voice for the next 45 minutes or so. What do we got?
Gotta stay top of mind.
Gotta stay top of mind, or you're not going to be getting any business. What else?
I like mailing out the newsletters.
Yeah.
When people open them up, instead of sending out email, taking the link.
So I'm going to double down on that real quick just to prove a point. I've been saying this in Ignite.
Since I've been fresh in real estate. I've been
Saying do newsletters, do the newsletters.
And one of my most gratifying moments ever is I was hosting a panel for Galar for the association, and I had Maxi Case. You guys know Maxi Case is? Top agent, been a top agent for like 25 years, always makes a ton of money in real estate. And I had 3 other panels. Christina Queen, before she was with us, was on it. Anusha was on it, and one other lady from Brookshire. I'm getting a name right now. Anyways, I was hosting the panel and I asked a question, Maxi. I said, Maxi, whatever the question was, I don't remember exactly what it was. We had about 150, 200 real estate agents in there. And I said, Maxi, what do you do? What is your lead generation? Whatever. She goes, it's very simple. I have 675 people in a database. And once a month, I go make a really, really nice marketing newsletter and what's going on in the market. And I mail it out so they open it. That's it.
She averages like 80 deals a year. That's all she does. To 675 people, and she does a really nice newsletter. She doesn't call. She doesn't do anything. She makes a great newsletter. I was like, where's my KW people at? I told you, do this. I was like, oh my gosh, you proved my point. You've been a top agent in this valley forever just by doing that. Now, Maxie's involved. She goes to a lot of things. So she's seen. There's a lot of other things she does naturally that she's good at. She likes to be involved. If you hate charity work, don't pretend you're some big charity person and that you're going to be doing that for real estate. It's not authentic. She's just good at those things anyways, so people know who she is. Then she reminds them she does real estate with her newsletter. So you can't just assume that you meet someone at an open house, you skip this step, and you give them a newsletter that they're going to use you for real estate. Probably not going to work that way. You have to have rapport, build it over time, stuff like that.
Garrett, do you have any advice on, like, let's say you don't know where to start to create a newsletter, like a platform that has like a baseline, and then you can make it your own, throw in your own.
Honestly, I would get on ChatGPT, one of those things, because I wouldn't make it big. I used to have one. It's bring me kind of hard to. I don't have it with me, but so. The simple in the beginning is easy because it costs money. Every time you print something, every time you mail something, anything like that, it costs money, right? So there's these really nice platforms where you could print and do something, and they'll mail it for you. It's awesome. But you're going to be spending for 400 or 300 people $1,000. That I don't recommend that, right? Until you're in a position where you know the return on those is going to be there. I would just get envelopes, and I'd print a couple pieces of paper, and I would start with what's going on with the family, what's going on in the market, buyer's outlook, seller's outlook, and a couple graphs off Gavar. Like you go to Gavar, you click the My Market Summary, you could do a little screenshot of a graph, kind of make it look nice, very, very simple. What's going on with interest rates? We're talking a page, page and a half.
Do it again. Family, market, Gavar.
But you got to connect them, right? Think of it like when you're a kid in school, you got to have a hook. You know, why would I care? Right. First of all, if I get a piece of mail from somebody that's actually a hand thing, I'm going to open it because it's like, whoa, what is this? It's like a relic, right? Who uses mail? So I'm going to be excited to open it up, right? But if I just see like Google Gobble and a business card, I'm going to throw it away. But if it's like, hey, quick update, what's going on with the fam? You know, we're excited, we're doing this. Here's what's going on in your real estate real estate market. Here's what the interest rates are looking like. If you ever need anything, let us know. We're here to support you, right? Just basic, basic, basic. It doesn't need to be crazy, even one page, especially if it's your first one. And then you could just say, you know, I'm going to be mailing these out once a month. I want to be your real estate or your economist of choice, your whatever the term you want to use. I'm going to be here to support you during those times. Let me know if you need anything. You're going to hear from me once a month through these great mailers. Make sure you keep mailing them, though. Don't stop to get those going. Anything else? Any other ahas? No? Alright. I skipped through a lot of this. See, so I start talking and I do a lot of the things that it tells you to do. So the 8x8, they've in MRA 2, that's not out yet, but supposedly been coming out for the last like 6 years. They've updated to a 19 to connect compared to an 8x8. I like the 8x8 because it has the example from 83 with the marketing company. It just hits home. So that works. But basically they're saying 19 to connect. Then you have to have one value thing to submit them to really liking and knowing you. And then you can put them on your 36 touch. So their 19 connect is 4 touches, quarterly phone calls. Then 12 touches with a monthly email, newsletter, marketing report, a video. 2 touches with promotional direct mail or calendar or printed marketing, and an annual event. So if you do this with somebody that you met at an open house on this plan, then you do a high value touch. Party you invite them to or something like that. You will submit them as realtor of choice. Then you can throw them on your 36 touch basically there. So they've just changed it from an 8x8 to a 19, basically 19 touches. And they're getting a little more with a submitting thing. Now that we have the soccer team coming, we used to have Jethawks, right? We used to rent Jethawk Stadium, and we would give tickets out to all our clients for free. It was really cool. We did it once a year. So that was like a high value event
it's so easy to call people. I had a video I used to show agents where I'd call past clients, said, what do I say? And I would just play the video where I called a past client and told her about the event. She was excited. She brought her family. It's a free event for them. It was cool, right? With the soccer team coming, maybe there's some options there. Jethawks was really cheap to get a skybox, right? I had my lender pay for it, and we got a skybox, and we took our best clients, and we did a Jethawks night in the box, and we had food. I bought food, he bought the spot, or vice versa, something like that. We both spent like $500, and we had a good event for like 30 people or whatever it was, 20 people. So figuring out a great touch or great opportunity kind of moves people over to a submit for life. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of showed you what it was in here. It used to be 8x8. Now they're calling it 19. I guarantee you if you do 8, it'll be good because most people don't do 1. The average agent does 0. The above agent does 1 or 2. You will be a great agent if you do 2 compared to most agents. Just because you already be in the top 5%. You actually do this, sky's the limit. All right, we did that. So it says lead follow-up best practices. So consideration for your lead follow-up program. So this is another area. One size doesn't fit all. So when we talk about figuring out what you want to do for lead generation, because everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do. What do I do? A lot of us like open houses because leads come to us, right? And I'm a personable person. I do good at open houses. That's just one of my skills, right? If you're someone that's better at something else, make that your thing, right? It doesn't. Not everyone has. Not one size shoe fits all, right? Like I tried cold calling. I took bold, and I was like, I'm going to be a cold calling master. And I sat in the office right over there where Dave Plumhouse sits now, and I did it for about 2.5 months. And I said, I'm never doing this crap again. Like I quit a job I hate to come over here and do something I just hated it. I hated it. Like dreading, oh, please don't answer, please don't answer. Oh, please don't answer. Oh, hi. We're still around one. I just hated it, right? I'm not saying that. Like Andrew's really good at it. He does a good job. He doesn't like it. Just wasn't my thing, right? You can't say that it's not my thing for everything. You got to go do something. I go to an open house. I have pretty good luck at open houses, right? You're like, oh, you're so lucky. I'm skilled in that area, right? I can connect. And then also I follow up. A lot of you can connect. Can you follow up? Right? It's all the fortune is the follow up. So have a consideration for what you're doing. If you're cold calling somebody, it's a follow up plan. Your open house plan isn't going to work. That makes sense? You have something for an open house is so pick 3 things: your sphere of influence, your open house, and what other thing you're doing. And think of how you're going to follow up with those people when you meet them. Right? You can be really good at just doing stuff in the community if it's something that you like. In my first year, my wife came to me and she was like, hey, there's this new marriage group at the church if you want to do it. Like any good husband, I went, oh, I don't want to talk about my feelings with some random dudes. Like, no, like, I didn't want to do that. Ugh. And then I said, well, maybe I'll meet new people for real estate. And it's good for God too, but like business, like, get my mind right. Like, I really didn't want to do it, right? But I was like, all right, I'll do it. Like, my wife wanted to do it, and I was like, whatever. Flip the switch for real estate, maybe it'll turn into something. So we went, and it was a good group. It was only like 6 or so couples, but they were really fun people. It was actually a really, really fun time. A good time. And Mike Bidenwitz's daughter was in that group. So Mike Bidenwitz at the time was one of our #1 agents in the office, and he moved to somewhere.
Yesterday.
Yeah, and he was here.
Yeah, he was here yesterday.
Oh, you can't miss him. He's 18 feet tall. And but his daughter was in that group. So once again, oh great, his daughter's they're gonna take all my business. That group made me $80,000 roughly, close, right? And it wasn't all of them. It was one couple that sold and then bought, then sold and moved, then gave us their grandparents that sold and then their parents. It was one group. Over time, it didn't happen in a year or a month, but that group paid dividends, right? And it was good for marriage too, the second stuff. But really, money. No, I'm just kidding. That it really was like a really good group that made me a lot of money. And Mike came to me. He's like, you gotta stop taking all my daughter's clients, joking. And I was like, you should go to marriage camp, marriage group, where you at? Like, it was a joke that we had, but it really was like it was a thing. But that relationship was close and personal, and they were fun people. Like if they weren't fun people, I probably wouldn't have stuck around. But it was a good group. So when you're out there, always be thinking, turn the realtor switch on. You're a realtor. I can turn that switch on. I'll be honest. I'm so tired of public events and public things, like in doing those things. I cannot stand the thought of doing any of them anymore. Because I did so many over the last 6 years. But when I know I'm like, oh, this could be a real estate thing. My daughter's really into doing 4-H right now, and so we have to go to the event or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, ugh. Potential business, right? Flip the switch, put on the smile, go meet people, go. Even if you don't want to, you are that top producer. You are in your head. Go do it, right? So there's always opportunity everywhere. But when you're meeting with these people, you got to make sure that you consider what you're doing, what your follow-up plan is different for everybody. So it's not one size fits all. So if you're going to plan on going out and doing these events or meeting people, have maybe a pretty generic follow-up plan for those people. That would work. Open houses, cold calling, door knocking, whatever you're going to do, internet leads, whatever you're going to do. Pick 1 to 2 of them and have a little follow-up plan for those and really focus on those. So what are my strengths in working with people? How can I adapt the touch to 19 to connect to represent me? If you are terrified of the thought of having people at a party and having to entertain, well then I don't recommend having a party to entertain these people, right? If you are, if you're like me, you can't spell, and your writing looks like a best 4th grade? 3rd grade? 3rd grader? Then you're probably not going to be doing stuff, a lot of writing and that stuff. Well, ChatGPT made that a lot easier. But I was writing a bunch of stuff to people that was, when my wife had to correct it and it took forever and it was just, embarrassing, right?
Do you mind if we do in here? While they're
Yeah.
listening?
Who's it?
Cessia. I'm going to go ahead and grab her.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not probably doing it now.
No, we'll get them. Just
Yeah.
wanted to ask if it was okay with you.
Yeah, I was like, I can do it.
Unless you want to.
No, I don't.
I'm going to make you do it.
No, thanks. Old habits die hard. Anyways, so make sure, what are the reasons I might have for contacting the lead? That's the hardest part, right? And we're scared about contacting people. Why? I'm not going to just, do you want to buy real estate? No. Leave me alone. Claire. It's better than nothing, but no. What is the reason? I never call without a reason, right? When you're like, you have to call your database once a quarter. How do I call them? What do I call for? Make up a reason. I'm so ambitiously lazy. I want to do one thing that does 10 things. Because I do not want to have to do a bunch of things. I want to do one thing, conquers all of them, right? I have a database. I need to talk to them. What am I going to do that kind of solves a lot of my problems? I'm going to host, let's say, a backpack drive for new kids or something. Because if I do this, A, I'm doing a charity thing, which is good. B, now I have a reason to email my clients. I have a reason to text message my clients. Hey George, this is Garrett. Just let you know I'm doing a backpack drive for less fortunate kids. If you happen to have an old backpack that's or in pretty good condition, or if you have anything like that, would you let me know? Let's swing by and grab it so we can donate. If not, hope the family's doing well. Right? People go, oh hey, that's really cool. Yeah, I might have a backpack, or hey, no, I don't have anything. Thanks for reaching out. Hey, no problem. Talk to you soon if you need anything, let me know. Right? Talk to a client. I can email a client. I'm doing multiple touches, and I have a reason to go do that. I'm not doing it just because, random. We're going to take a break, George. You can do it?
Yep, let's do it. You want to do it or you want me to do it?
It's better that you do it. People don't even know who I am anymore.
I don't care. Go on up. You're going to do it. Right at the front. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you forgot the bell?
Yeah.
Fail.
Kevin, come here. We need your head.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning!
How's everybody doing on this cold morning? Right? It's freezing outside. So we're doing the first check. Who has the first check? First checks are amazing. They set the tone. You know?
These first checks are a lot higher than I think your first check.
Yeah.
Sales prices, man.
Yeah, big time. I remember when, remember JD? Me and JD used to work together back in the day, and we would split commissions, right? And we got $2,000 we're like, yeah, $2,000. Yeah, sales are starting. It was pretty amazing back then. Now we get $10,000 check, like, yeah, that's it. We're selling going out like $2,000 though. I know. Let me know when you're recording.
Ready.
Alright guys, we are celebrating a first check. Sassy actually started off as one of our students, got licensed, became one of our agents, and now she just closed her first check. Sassy!
Can't hear you.
Sorry.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's a good feeling.
Thank you guys. We're out.
Whatever.
I motivated a little bit, you know.
I lost all my steam. I don't know what else to talk about.
Continue. Thank you, Garrett.
I was like, why so many people? He just asked, like, why so many people coming in? It's weird. All right. So anyways, have a reason. Have a reason. Have a reason. It makes it so much easier. If you're scared to door knock, go find an open house and go knock and say, hey, 124 or the Johnsons are having an open house down the street. They just want to invite the neighbors. They might know someone that wants to move in. I'm just going to drop the open house and also let them move. They go, okay, great. And slam the door in your face. But occasionally, you get a guy that's like, oh, cool. What's it going for? Those are the people, right? That's the good stuff. Right? Have a reason. It's so much easier. I'll be completely transparent. First time I drove up, I was like, week 2. So in that, we used to keep track. I don't know if they do it. We used to really keep track of how many contacts, how many people added to the database every day to get you into business, right? And I was like, I don't know what to do. So I just drove in the neighborhood and parked and I had my business cards. And I was like, I'm going to go door knock. I had no idea what to say. So I walked up to the door. I said, F this. I got my card and left. Because I was like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. And I know when someone comes to my door and knock, I'm like, yeah. My wife's like, you're so mean. You do that. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. People are rude. It's annoying, right? And I'm doing it. But if you have a reason, it's much easier.
Yeah.
It's much easier. Have a reason. Your neighbor, you're terrified to knock. Go. Another true story. I'm telling you, real estate isn't just meeting people. We talk about opportunities, right? I'm walking down to get my mail. And there's a neighbor that I've not met before, about 5 down on my right. 4 down on my right. I walk down, he's outside, and I'm like, you're a realtor now. Go talk to him. Never would have done that before, because I would have been like, hey neighbor. Like, you know, I don't want to talk. Anybody else? Weird, you know. And I walk up, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm Garrett, you know, nice to meet you, I haven't met you yet. Oh, hey. He's a retired firefighter, and this was probably a week into being in real estate. He's a retired firefighter, we talked for a long time. We go down some crazy paths about, we went to like riots to, in the 90s to Ohio, like waterfalls. It was the craziest conversation. We went everywhere. Really nice guy. We talked all sorts of craziness, and that was my first listing ever. Like 2 months later. He was like, oh yeah, we're going to be moving. I'm like, God, you've blessed me more than I deserve. That was awesome. But if I didn't talk to him, it would never happen. Right? So, a neighbor is easy. Go and introduce yourself. Make some cookies or something. Like, hey, I've lived here 10 years and I've never met you. What's your name? A little bit awkward. Yeah. Whatever. But it just introduce yourself. That's a good reason. Right? Now when the neighbor moves in, I always walk over and, hey, welcome to the neighbor. It's easy, Matt, right? It's a reason. It's just being nice. Be neighborhood. I'd rather my neighbors have my back in case someone's breaking in, they know. My neighbor texts me like, hey, you left the garage open, you guys home? And I was like, no. He's like, I want to close it? Yeah. That's great. My other neighbor to the left, I just sold their rental property, right? And I couple conversations here or there, friendly waves, walking the dog, how the kids. It doesn't take much, just a little bit of effort. but they all know I do real estate. Why? Because
You turn on switch.
yeah, you turn on a switch and you just ask them, oh, hey, what do you do? And they go, oh, I'm a teacher. Oh, cool. What do you do? Oh, I said this. Right? It's not hard. It's just you have to be purposeful. Turn on that switch. So have reasons. Make sure that you don't get too caught up on this though, and you don't end up not calling because your reasons aren't good enough. Because the fear of getting in the way of making the calls worse than calling them looking stupid. So just peace of mind there. How am I using conversations to let the person know I'm in real estate? As we just talked about. Just be strategic when you call, right? If friends, family, if it's someone that when you're new to real estate, you have a lot of good reasons to do it. You don't have to say, oh, I'm brand new in real estate and I don't know what I'm doing, but if you want to use me for real estate, feel free, right? That's done. But you can't say, hey, I just started my real estate business over at Keller Williams and I'm really excited, so let people know if you need anything to buy or sell real estate, let me know, right? So you could frame it in a way that it sounds pretty good, but figure out how to get real estate involved, and it comes pretty natural once you're doing it for a while. Because when people are, you need real estate, I always ask how the market is. It's like, all the time. Just think that through before you call, or for whatever that reason is. If I'm going to go talk to the neighbor I've never talked to before, I'm 100% asking them for work. Because I know they're going to ask it back. Right? Just being strategic. When is best for me and my business to time block for lead follow-up? Here's the truth. If it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. If you don't schedule yourself like you're a boss looking over your shoulder, you won't do it. So the hardest part about real estate, let me guess, most of you got into real estate because it's making a ton of money, and you don't have a boss, and it's flexible, right? So we all get into real estate. Well, here's why most people don't make any money in real estate, because it's flexible, and they don't have a boss. Bosses are there because people need motivation to get work done. Otherwise, they don't have bosses. Then you show up to work and you're self-motivated to do really good for the company, right? Self-motivation, bunch of crap 90% of the time, right? Not having a boss is the reason why most of us fail. Because there's no one to force us to do it. So if we don't time block and really hold ourselves accountable, we're never going to find a way to do this. So what this means is keep track of what you do for a week and write back to yourself and say, if I'm the CEO of this company, right? You start a corporation. I've started a corporation. I own a corporation, right? The corporation, I'm head of this corporation and all of its employees in my business. My S Corp that I own, I'm the owner of it. I own everyone in the corporation. I can fire anybody. Well, I'm the only one that works for the corporation. But as the CEO, when I fire myself, am I doing a good job? Right? So ask yourself those questions at the end of the week. Am I doing enough to warrant a paycheck? No? Well, it's not working then. Am I doing enough to warrant a paycheck? Did I lead gen? Did I follow up? Did I do all these things? Would I pay myself if I'm a successful real estate agent and I have to now hire employees and I'm hiring you to do this job and I'm paying you every week? Did you warrant that paycheck? Did you show up and work enough? Right? So ask yourself those questions. You need to ask yourself those hard questions to make it work. Please hold. Sorry. Hey, can you give me a Coke or something? I'm like dying back here. Thanks, dude. You're the best. Hey, have Vic pay for it because she owes me money. All right. Yeah, he already hung up. He's like, I got you. Sorry, I feel my throat going. All right. How much time should it take to reach out to leads? Honestly, you're not got that much to follow up with. We always recommend 9 to 11, figure out some sort of lead generation. 11 to 12, do lead follow-up. So every day, put it on your calendar, make it happen. Oh, but my friends work at 9. Nobody answers at 9. Guess what? When it comes to 4 o'clock and you put it on your calendar, you ain't going to do it. You're going to go do something else. Get it done with the time of the day when you have the most energy and the right mindset to do it. You're lazy at the end of the day. You're not going to do it. Very few people do. So just knock it out in the morning, whatever that may be. If you're doing a newsletter, prepare it in the morning. You can send it out later, whatever. But just your calendar should look, dude, you're the best. Did you steal it from Vic?
No.
Did you buy it? Yeah. You didn't have to buy it. Vic would have bought it for me. It's okay. And some sweets.
Garrett, how did you break that down again? You said something 9 to 11 and something 11 to 12.
A perfect real estate schedule, real estate agent schedule, is this. So 9 to 11, lead gen. On 8 to 9, we'll call it be better. So be better, pray, spiritual, read a book, learn. Oh, the camera can't see me. Learn whatever you need to do to be better. Read a business book. Read MREA if you haven't read MREA. Read How to Split the Difference. Read Extreme Accountability. Read something that makes you better. At night, like I love to read. I cannot read a self-improvement book at night. My brain's done. Get me with swords and dragons, and I want to kill some Game of Thrones stuff at night. Like, that's my getaway nighttime, right? But in the morning, it's on my calendar. I'm really gonna learn to be better, right? I need to be the best I can be. Study the market, whatever that is, right? Get the kids to school, whatever it takes. Spend some time in prayer, spend some time whatever your calendar works, but that's what I recommend. Get your head right? Gets you motivated. Maybe watch a motivational movie right before you're done. It works. You watch Michael Jordan video and all of a sudden you're pumped up, I can make these calls, whatever it takes, right? Get your head ready for that. 9 to 11 you lead gen. 11 to 11:30, all it takes is follow-up. Unless you have a ton of business, you probably don't have a ton of follow-up. Then you're allowed a lunch. Right? And then from, we'll say 1, to give you some extra time. 1 to 2:30 is appointment 1. 2:30 to 4, appointment 2, and 4 to 6, appointment 3, or whatever, right? This is a perfect real estate schedule. Here's why. You ain't never going to have 3 appointments every single day. Ever. If you do, you're awesome. It ain't happening, right? So you have these time slots in your calendar set up for all the random crap that gets in your way of doing stuff. So you notice, where's check Facebook or check Instagram? Is it on here? No, because when you sit down and do work, you're like, oh my God, Sally Ward, what? It's poor Sally. Anyways, your distractions of the day get push this till it's gone. So do it first, get it done. Go do some follow-up, there you go have some lunch, and now you're set up for the rest of the day. Do whatever meaningless crap that you have to do, right? Oh, I gotta get my website just right. I gotta update my database. I gotta do all this. Great, you have all this time in here because you don't have 3 appointments. But when someone calls you and says, hey, I'd like to view this house, you're like, okay, great, whenever you can, right? You go, hey, let me check my calendar. Hey, I have Tuesday at 2:30, or does Thursday at 1 work better for you? Do I sound like a professional now when I call the doctor? Do they normally go, whenever you want? Yeah, let's go right now. Let's go. We got this. I'll drop everything for you. Right? Or does it sound professional? Let me check my calendar. I already know what my openings are.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh, what that person at? Because a lot of times, hey, can I go see this house tomorrow at 11? Right, let me check. Hey, would you be able to do 1 instead? Because I actually have an appointment. Because at 11, you're supposed to be doing follow-up. Right? And does it make you sound better if you're actually busy?
Yeah.
It does, a little bit. Right now, think, hey, I'm going out of town. I can only make 11. Let me move some stuff around for you, and let me call the agent, see if I can make that work. I got nothing else going on. Oh yeah, move some stuff around. Let's go see this house, right? But you sound more professional, right? And you know the time frames of when you have your appointments. It's exactly how I have my schedule set up for a team leader when I schedule appointments to try to recruit people or meet with our own agents. Right? When I was a team leader, Gloria would be like, hey, can we meet? I'd say, yeah, we got Thursday at 1, 3, and they go, I can only meet in the morning. Okay, well, let me move some stuff around. Because I would move Legion to down here if she had to meet at 9, especially for my agents. But guess what happened 90% of the time? I never lead generated that day. It just, when things get moved, you can't erase, you must replace. You got to put it somewhere else. But I'm just telling you the reality is if you move your lead gen, you probably ain't going to do it. So get it done, and then have your appointment set up, and if you happen to get an appointment, slide them into that spot. Awesome. And then you can do your other stuff later. And I would recommend not even checking your email until after that's done. I got one escrow, and if I don't check every 3 minutes, it's going to fall apart. It'll be fine. Wait till after lunch or whatever. Get the distractions up. The truth is, your follow-up's only going to take you about 3 minutes, most likely, unless you have a ton of follow-up. You do an open house, you met 10 people, you did something else, you have 12 people to follow up with, you call 8 of them, they don't answer, you leave voicemail, you text the other 2, they reply, you have a 5-minute conversation, it's a 15-minute thing. It doesn't take that long, right? You did an open house, one person walked in, you have one person to follow up with, right? So you'll have more free time to get on your emails, check up on things like that. Any other questions? So this is going to have an activity for you guys to make your own. I'm going to let you guys do that on your own because I don't want to sit here and stand here while you do that for a while. We gave a lot of examples, but it's just thinking about what your business, your budget is, what you're going to do to follow up with people, and how you're going to make things work. Make an impact. Focus on value. Focus on your value proposition. So your value proposition is hard when you're new because you don't really know what value you bring, right? Just me? You guys know your value proposition? No? The value proposition is a challenge because you don't really know, I'm new. What kind of value do I have? Well, are you tenacious? Are you hardworking? Are you a people pleaser? You will get things done, right? You just need to take some time to self-reflect and really understand what the values are that you bring. I was in the restaurant industry. I was very good at being a server, bartender, stuff like that, because I had such a fear of people not liking me. And I had a great sense of urgency. I made sure things were good, right? And they really liked the service. I wanted to make sure that they did that. So I could bring that into my real estate thing. My hardest part about real estate for me is the fact there's so many third parties that I can't just go fix. I can't fix a title issue on title that the title company is looking at. I can't fix a lender that won't respond to my phone calls or text messages, right? But I can communicate really effectively and let them know exactly what's going on at all times, right? So what are we good at? What are our values that we're going to bring? And we just write them out. Write them out what you're good at. I have no tolerance for dilly-dallying around, spittle farting, whatever you want to call it. I want it now, right? I have a great sense of urgency. I want to know what's going on now, right? So go through, figure out what your value proposition is, how your personal communication looks like. How do you communicate with people? How do you communicate and connect with people, right? And then statistics and data. I was good at statistics and data. I looked at it once a month and I did a little newsletter and people thought I was genius because I got on Gavar and saw what it looked like and I read a couple articles and they're like, oh, you really know the market. Not really that well. I would also go listen to Gary Keller once a year at Family Reunion and I would just say what he said. Like, oh, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, the guy's a billionaire. I'll listen to him. He's pretty smart, right? So just listen to some people, really get the statistics and data so you feel pretty good and comfortable with where you're at. So potential lead sources, lead follow-up, communication. So we talked a lot about this, but so think about your statements or questions. So why are we thinking about buying or selling? Tell me more. What will that do for you and your family? Who wins a conversation? When you're in a conversation with somebody, who's the winner?
The one that talks
Who asks more questions?
The one that asks the most questions, right? You're in control of the conversation, right? A lot of times people leave a conversation, you're like, oh, that was great, right? They were great because you just talked the whole time, right? When I leave here, I'm like, that was amazing because I just talked the whole time. Nobody asked questions. It means I failed, right? So asking questions is the power in this business. And the better you get at thinking in questions, always, practice. Like, we do script practice. Practice question game where you just ask questions, random questions, because it builds rapport, it builds trust. When people just sit there and talk about themselves for a long time, they're like, I love this guy, because you just talk. But it also gives you information, right? Like I start with easy questions, just ask more, go 3 deep, whatever that looks like, to really understand where people are at, but they'll build trust, right? It builds trust. So if someone comes in an open house, what brought you here today? It's an easy question, right? Oh, I'm a neighbor. Oh, how long have you lived at your home? Oh, we've been there about 7 years. Oh, if you were to move, where would you go? It's a weird question. Is it yes or no questions? No.
No, they,
If you were to move, where would you go?
yeah.
Well, I'm asking that.
Open question.
Just, yeah, like, oh, honestly, somewhere out of California, can't stand the taxes, can't stand the government. We've had about a bazillion people leave California to go to Tennessee, Texas, Idaho, right? Oh, if you were to move, where to go? Oh, I really like Tennessee. Oh, what's so great about Tennessee? Oh, what makes you want to go out there? Oh, my kids moved out there. Oh, when did they move out there? Oh, about 4 years ago. How is it being away from your kids? I hate it. Oh, well, if you could find a property out there that made sense, would you move? Oh, maybe. Right? I'm just leading direct questions. I'm making that up so it goes smooth when I say it. It doesn't always go that way. A lot of times, we're never going to move. Awesome. Well, if we were to go, where'd you go? No, we would never go. Oh, so is he a permanent resident here? Do you guys do any investments? Right? I'm just asking questions. And I'm not doing it in a pushy way. I really do care, and I'm just talking. And a lot of times people just boop, 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 and it leads to all sorts of crazy stuff.
I have a question, Greg. So I'm in the asking question part. Sometimes it happens that you didn't think about that you should have asked this question, and you figure I should have asked this because that would be important information, and I missed the opportunity. So I guess you just keep trying to ask, and you learn as you go, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
mean,
way.
you're gonna, like, if you're not thinking back, I missed something, you're not learning, right? That's a part of it. There's millions of times I've left going, oh my gosh, why didn't I ask that, or that would have been good, and that's just okay for next time. And it helps with practicing and doing it more and more and more, but I believe the best way to do it is just get out there and do it, right? You screw up on the first person that comes in the open house, you screw up on the second, you screw up on the third. Eventually you get it right?
Mhm.
So, my very first open house ever, I was in Ignite. It was back when Facebook we used for communication. Someone was like, I need someone to host an open house. I was here 2 weeks. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And I was like, I'll do it. I was terrified. I didn't know how to do an open house. I didn't have a sign. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, I'll do it. So they gave me I borrowed Ileana and a couple other people's signs. I just asked. I was like, hey, is there signs? And then someone introduced me to Ileana. I think she let me borrow a couple, or someone else let me borrow a couple. But anyways, I go to the open house, no idea what I'm doing, set up signs, people come in, I start just asking questions. So, hey, here's the house, how are you? It's a great home. They go, oh, how much is the HOA? And I'm like, it's not my house, I'm holding out for another person, I'll reach out to you, and I'll let you know, right? And they left, I'm like, what's an HOA? And I'm like, oh my gosh, homeowners association, like, duh, I knew that, but I was so nervous, right? So I text the agent, and I'm like, hey, what's the HOA? He said, oh, it's $375 a month. Oh, okay. Next person comes in, and I'm asking, oh, hey, how's it going? And we're asking questions. I go, yeah, and there's HOA, $375. Like, oh, what's it cover? I'm like, well, see, I'm holding the house open for my other agent. I'll get back to you, right?
Wow, yeah.
And then I call, I'm like, oh, hey, what does HOA cover? He's like, the normal stuff. And I'm like, okay. I'm Googling, what does HOAs normally cover? Like, I don't know. I've never lived in an HOA. I'm like, I have no idea. And so it's like house, roof, okay, so I look pretty dumb, but I was just asking questions. And I followed up with those people. I told them I'd follow up with them, and I did. True story, not lying at all. The very last person, the lady came in, started talking. She was going through a divorce, getting a settlement, $200,000, and she's gonna have cash, and she wanted to buy a home in the next couple weeks. And I was like, well, and she's like, but this was a short sale. And I didn't know anything about short sales, but I knew they're not short. That's the only thing I've been told. Short sales are not short. They take forever. So I was like, oh, it's a short sale, but they take forever, so I don't know if this is for you. But I did know there was another one for sale. I'm like, well, maybe we could go show. I was like, yeah, that would be good. And so I'm like, all right, let me set that up for you. So I called that agent, and I was like, hey, I have a client that's interested in seeing it. He's like, oh, cool, I have another one, the same model coming up for sale. So you want to show both of them? It's not even on the market yet. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. So I call her back. I'm like, hey, so actually there's this other one that's not even on the market yet. Like, it's coming soon, so we could see both. She's like, okay. We went and saw it. We wrote a full price cash offer. 2.5 weeks in with this lady that I just met at an open house, but it was just from asking great questions. And I looked stupid. I didn't know the answers to half the questions to the people before, but when the one that mattered came in, I knew. And it was great. And I was like, yes. And I closed the deal, and I made like $1,500. And I was like, yeah, I closed the deal. I made more than that, but it wasn't much. But that was my first open house ever. Being the first night, like just figuring it out. So I don't remember what took me down that path. Oh, asking questions. But it's just asking questions. Don't be scared if you don't know the answers. Because you could always say, I'm just holding this open for another agent. I'll go back and let you know. Oh, that's a great question. I'm not certain on that. Let me reach out to my broker. You know, you don't need to know the answer right there. You just go to find the answer. All right. Are you videoing me?
Now I will be.
I'm not even in my pretty outfit. I got no makeup on. I got a hat. My hair is not done.
It's okay. It's dressed down Friday, you know.
It's been dressed down, Garrett, for 6 months. What are you talking about? All right. Ahas. Let's have some feedback. Have some questions. What you guys think? Where are we stuck at? What did I skip that you want me to go over because I just kind of skipped?
Listen to the people when they come to the open house.
Listen. Good. And ask great questions.
Don't let your fear of not knowing everything in this business at the beginning stop you.
Yeah. Your fear is your greatest obstacle. Now, it was honestly like, I've done this a lot. I'll be completely transparent. I still get phone fear. Where you're like, you get nervous, right? It's
normal.
It's okay. It's normal. That's going to happen, but have a good reason to call and don't be scared to mess up. Because you're going to. And a lot of times, practice on your mom so she doesn't yell at you or something.
She'll just laugh at you.
Yeah, she'll laugh at you. But at least it's practice, right? Awesome. What else?
Ask open-ended questions, like,
Yes.
when are you planning to move? And then they start talking. Or sometimes you just ask them about, what do you think about the house?
Yeah.
Can you give me some feedback?
Yeah.
And then they go off and they let them talk.
Bingo.
That's been really good.
Are you guys going to move? No. Okay. If you guys were to move, where would you go? It's a weird pattern interrupt in their head, and it makes them have to stop and think.
Mm-hmm.
What you love, what you guys think about the backyard? Oh, it's very specific and makes them have to start talking. Answers, right? We just want to build rapport and get comfortable with who everyone is. Sorry. All right, anything else? Did I skip things in the book? Because I don't have a book in front of me. So I just want to make sure if there's
You
things.
talk about 8x8 and 36 touches. However, on the book it talks about 19.
19 to connect?
Yes.
Yeah, I talked about how that's 19 to connect now from the 8x8. It's the same premise. It's just 19 touches to submit. Anything else in there that I skipped?
I think you call it the cement part is the last part of it.
Okay. How much more do we got? Post lead follow up. All right. All right, you see here in our post lead follow up, this is a great diagram. It's kind of like the one I drew earlier, the horizontal one that I drew earlier. But basically, your business over here is pretty simple. You lead capture, you got to do that every day to build your database. Got to lead capture every single day to build the database. Your database is going to go to 1 to 2 places. It's going to leads or to contacts. Most of the time, it's going to come down into leads. You meet somebody at an open house, it's a lead, right? They're probably not your friend, not someone that you really relate to that trusts you right away. So they are a lead. How do we get them from a lead to a contact? What do we got to do to make them a lead to someone that knows, likes, and trusts you?
Have a two-way conversation.
Have a two-way conversation, that 19 to connect, the 8x8, whatever you're doing to cement that relationship, right? Because they're just a lead. Guess what? They're in about 45 other agents' databases because they went to 45 different open houses. But guess what? No one else is going to do what you're going to do, right? You're going to submit the relationship from lead to contact through a 19 touch, an 8x8, whatever you want to call it, to form that relationship. Then, once they're a contact, we're going to cultivate the contacts for conversion. So that's our 36 touch. Once they're a contact that know I can trust you, they'll take the phone call, they'll open the mail, they'll open the email. You're going to cultivate them so they become business. And they're also going to refer you new business, which goes back up to the contact. So it's a never-ending loop. Leads coming in, you convert them to your database, you convert them from leads to contacts. The contacts over time, every 3 to 7 years, or every 7 to 10 years, they're going to turn into business and hopefully referring you business along the way. Real estate is very, 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 very simple. It's simple concepts. This right here, this little concept can make you a ton of money. It's hard to go out there and do, right? Not hard. It's we get in our own way of getting out there to find success. We get in our own head. I can't call this person. I can't send this out. They'll be annoyed at me. We tell a whole story before we even know what's going to happen. Make sense?
Yep.
All right. Submit the high value touch that solidifies the relationship you have just established, opens the door to future interactions. So we talked about this when I went off my tangent, is finding a high value touch to really help somebody. An appointment, evaluations, inviting them to events, inviting them to different things that could be a part of your world. There's a lot of different things you can do to cement a relationship. Think about what you're willing to do and what your personality aligns with, and things will be easier for you. If you're a people person, and you like people, and you enjoy their time, maybe host some sort of event, host a party, host whatever that might be, and it doesn't need to be like, come to my real estate party so you give me business. It's like, hey, we're having a get together, we're having poker night, we're having this, come over, and just be yourself. And people ask what you're doing. Ask what they do. They'll say, oh, I'm doing real estate now. And this is, oh, well, that's awesome. Yeah, and then you can talk real estate. Do what you're willing to do that fits with who you are. If you are not caring at all about a certain thing, but you see an opportunity, don't do that. Don't, like for example, if I do not care about children's backpacks, or something, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this backpack drive because I care about children. In reality, I don't give a crap about children. I hate children. I'm just saying, be authentic to who you are.
Yeah.
Right? Be authentic to who you are, because if you're really passionate about a charity, great. Go be passionate about that charity. Tiny real estate, let people know do real estate, awesome. But go be passionate about that, and you'll find a way to connect to different areas, different people. Some of the smallest, powerful groups. You have the ability to really grow your business from not a lot of people. So there's a circle in MREA that talks about your whatever. It's good enough. It's fine. It talks about your right here, and this is you, and then this is your inner circle or raving fans. And this is about 4 to 6 people. Right? And then right here is your sphere of influence, which should be 100 people. People know, like, and trust you. And this is just kind of like everyone else. Right? These 4 to 6 people, these closest people that you meet or time, could really be a huge advocate in your business because they are the ones that spread about your excellence. They're the ones that preach about how great you are. They bring people to you, right? They'll bring in business to you. So it doesn't always have to be these big events where there's 300 people where you're trying to meet everybody. It can be small, intimate events, life groups, churches, I'm just sharing from my personal experiences, because I told you about the life group, the thing that we did with me and my wife. These things can lead to a lot of business, right? But be authentic, right? Don't go to a life group if you don't believe in Jesus. Actually, you do need to go to life group if you don't believe in Jesus. You're the one that needs to be there first, right? Sorry, God. I meant that reverse. Actually, you're the first one that needs to go to life group. All I'm saying is don't do something you're not authentically attached to just to get business, because you'll get smelled out in 2 seconds. And that's nothing I hate more. There's inauthentic real estate agents that do things for money, and there's a lot out there. There is, and it just bugs me. So, I mean, it's okay to bring in your business done, but if, say you're like really into pickleball, like pickleball is so much fun right now, I'm loving pickleball. Go make a pickleball group, people playing pickleball. You could do a lot of different things to be successful in real estate if you just strategically plan out what you're gonna do to involve real estate. Hey, I'm having a pickleball party. We got the spot over at the, where do you play pickleball at? The courts at the city park. We're gonna meet at Tuesdays from 4 to 6. Anybody's welcome. It's gonna be fun. Some refreshments are there. Guess what? Every water bottle's got my little face on it. Right? Whatever I gotta do. That's all it's gotta be. Right? You could have a whole pickleball group. You don't have to do the status quo, but you do have to still make it smart about real estate. Right? People have to know. And it's not just going to be like one pickleball thing, like, oh, you put this together, I got a portfolio of 200 homes I want you to sell. It's not going to happen. But if you do it every week and you have a lot of fun, you build rapport, business will come. Right? So figure out what you're going to do, what you're going to stick with. Find some raving fans that you put the pickleball thing, they tell them, and all of a sudden you got 200 people showing up for pickleball. This is silly, but this story actually happened on stage with a lady who was so tired of doing real estate, banging her head against the wall. And her maps coach asked her, what do you want to do? She said, I want to play tennis. She said, great, play tennis, figure out how to make business from it. So she did this with tennis. All she does now is play tennis and sell real estate, because her tennis group gives her enough business, more than she needs for her business. She just wanted to play tennis, and she was so tired of doing all the other stuff. Her lead generation is tennis 3 times a week. That's cool, but she did it though, strategic, right? I said pickleball because, I don't know, seem more relevant now, but that happened. That happened. And it can happen for anyone as long as you're strategic and you go figure out what you're going to do to make it successful. But it won't happen when you sit behind the computer going, what am I going to do? What's on Facebook? Looking at reels or whatever. All right. So really, this is all great. We feel good in classes and stuff. We get ideas. But if we don't get into action, none of it matters. If we don't get into action, none of it matters. Like I said, we're already lost probably 10 people that started. With this class and the last class, there's going to be 7 of you, right? It just happens every time. So getting into action is the most important thing. My very first Ignite used to be 3 hours long, 3 times a week, and it was 12 classes. So it was still like a month long, but it was only 3 times a week, and it was for 3 hours. In the beginning, you used to do lead generation for like 30 minutes. So in this room, everyone would be like, and what happened? Everyone would look around and disappear, go to the bathrooms, hide, because it was scary, right? They might have it. It didn't really work that well. But I remember my very, very, very first day of Ignite. My very first day of Ignite. I tell this story every time just to prove a point. They said we had to call people, to tell them we're doing real estate. And the script was so stupid. I'm like, I would never say that. That's just not my personality. But I can make it my own, right? And I got on my phone. I walked around the corner, and that used to be the kitchen. I walked around the corner there so no one would see me. I got my phone, and I was like, all right, let's see, who am I going to call? And I went to A's. I scrolled down. I can't call that person. I haven't talked to that person in like 6 years. I can't call any of these people, right? I got to B's. I got to a friend of mine from high school. His name was Matt Bell. And I hadn't talked to Matt in a long time. But I did know that Matt had a small business, right? So I was like, you know what? He'll get it. He won't be mad. So I got the courage and I called Matt. I was like, hey, Matt. And he's like, hey, Garrett, like, dude, been a long time. Like, yeah, let's grab lunch. I'm like, hey, dude, the reason I called is I started real estate, so I'm just letting everyone know. He's like, that's awesome, dude. That's really cool. I'm like, hey, I'll have some real estate questions and stuff. Awesome. Let's get lunch, right? It wasn't that hard, right? So I went and met, next week, me and Matt got lunch. We started talking. About a year and a half later, I double-ended his rental property. It made me about 20 grand, right? It took a year and a half. It took a long time. My first call in real estate ever made me almost 20 grand. I double-ended his rental property. Pretty cool. How many did I miss in A's because I was too scared to call? Right? How many did I miss because I was too scared? It doesn't happen the next day. And I didn't know it was going to happen. Actually ran into Matt at the at US Bank last week. We're going to get lunch this week, right? We run into each other, friends. You know, never like super best friends, but we're friends. We see each other, we hang out, see how the kids are doing. And, you know, we're dudes. We see each other once a year, and that's good for us, right? So I tell that story because I was terrified, and I didn't know at the time that was going to lead to business, but it did. It did. So you have to get into action and find a way to do it to make it work for you. So if you're terrified of the phones, you have to figure out a way to call in a way that's not terrifying to you, right? And most of it's just in your head. You're telling yourself a story that most people don't have that opinion on at all. Yep. Most people are very kind when you call and say, hey, I'm just letting you know I started my career over Keller Williams. I'm working real estate with a great team over there, with the best broker in the Antelope Valley, and I'm just excited to let everyone know, so if you know anyone to buy or sell real estate, I'd love to help you out. Most people go, okay, great, thanks. Hey, by the way, I'm going to be sending great information. Do you mind if I reach out to you occasionally, about once a quarter, let you know what's going on in the market? Yeah, fine. Okay, great. Like, oh, it's so scary. Practice 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, and do it. All right. So the success systems for you guys, they're probably not doing the success system, but if you want success, go have 10 conversations, go add 10 contacts to your database, write 10 handwritten notes, do your 10-5-1 social media engagement, do an enrichment. This is where the extra stuff comes in. Have they talked about this stuff yet or no?
Yes.
Okay. All right, is there a second class for this or no? We used to do the success system in a second class. The group would get together. We stopped doing it because nobody ever showed up. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to action, it's great to learn. When it comes to action, it's the hardest part. All right, I'm done. Any other questions? Any other ahas? Any other great things that you want to talk about?
I think I want to share, Garrett, a very important and expensive lesson that happened to me on my first open house. It cost me $1.4 million in business.
Oh.
So I didn't want to do an open house. I didn't want to do anything. And George was like, you don't have a choice. You're doing it, right?
Yeah, good.
So I went to go do an open house, and I get there. I set up. Everything looks great and good. And then he says, now I'm really going to get you out of your comfort zone. You're going to go live on Facebook, on social media, and you're going to invite everybody. He knew I had a following because of my passions with cars and whatnot. Oh, no, I can't do this. You're doing it. Do it now. So I go on Facebook live, and I start telling everybody, hey, everybody, da-da-da-da, I'm here. This is the address. Come and say hi to me. Stop by, blah, blah, blah. 2 minutes later, one of my, what did you call that, raving fan?
Uh-huh.
One of my 4 to 6 people happened to be across the street, saw me going live, and anytime I went live, he'd open it up. He walks over there and says, oh my God, Sylvia, I didn't know you were doing real estate. Da-da-da-da-da. Conversation started. Turns out he tells me, well, you and I are definitely going to need to start talking because I'm outgrowing the property across the street. I'm going to sell my house.
Uh-huh.
Right? So what started to happen is I didn't follow up. My limiting belief just got in the way, and I didn't do it. What happens? George says, well, if you're not going to do it, I am. Turns out, sold his house for $575,000, turned around and bought a house over here, like not too far from Acton, for $910,000. So I always say, that's my $1.4 million mistake.
It's your $1.4 million awesome learning experience.
Yes.
To never let it happen again.
Again, correct.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I love the story because it showcases so much. Just get out of your comfort zone. I swear to you, there's this agent, one of the first capper big people I recruited. I'm not going to say her name. She did not know real estate at all. She was borderline like, you're dumb. You're going to get yourself sued. Like, you are dumb. Like, what are you doing? She didn't know how to follow up. She didn't know anything. Yet she made a ton of money. You know how she did it? First week, she always showed how hard she was working. How hard she was working. She would go, "Hi, I'm at another training, guys. It's just real estate life. Woo!" And then she'd be at an open house. "I'm at another open house. Come check it out. Oh my gosh, it's so cool." And I'm like, "Oh my God." She closed 24 homes her first year. Wow. "Oh, I'm over here at another open house. Oh my God." I was like, "Oh my God, you're so not really smart with real estate, but it works. Who cares?" She figured it out because everyone thought she was so busy and she had a lot of people. She wasn't at her open houses. She didn't have an open house. She just every time and she had training. Add another training. Add another thing. Selfie. You know, it's like, oh my God, I'd rather shoot myself, right? But it worked for her. It worked.
Yeah.
It works. You have a following, you do that, people came, right? They're, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you did real estate. Sell my home." We get our way.
Yep.
I'm not ready. If you're not ready, if you're scared, come talk to me. I'll take half your commission because I'm not scared. Yeah. George will take half your commission.
In a heartbeat.
Gloria will take half your commission. She's got no problem doing it if you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just put on your big breech your underwear, just go toughen up and go figure it out. Because guess what? It's not that hard. It's really not. I mean, you can screw up 100 ways, get sued to $1 million, but it doesn't matter. We've got insurance for that. It's not that hard. Most of the time. Sometimes you get crazy things, but most of the time it's pretty easy. All right, anything else?
So what do you do in the morning? You see you read books, real estate books?
I used to. I've been pretty bad for the last year. Yeah, so in the morning, everyone's morning routine, I put that there as more, this could be 5 a.m. to 9, whatever it is. It's getting your life ready for a position to work. So like exercise, spiritual, physical, mental, family, love. Try to do all those things in the morning. Give hugs and kisses to your family. Try to laugh a little bit. Read to make yourself better. Read to spiritual to get yourself better. In spiritual place, physical workout, anything in the morning to get you going. I just found it hard to read at night to like self-help books. Any of them, you know, from Maxwell, from leadership to I'm trying to think of what Robert Greene does a good job for different type of leadership. But there's all sorts of books in real estate too, if you want to just real estate. But business books, one of my favorite business books was The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. Keith Cunningham is Rich Dad from Rich Dad Poor Dad. And his book was really good because it's just a business book about his mistakes. And he's like, "Don't pay the stupid tax. I paid them. Here's what you can learn."
What's the name of that book again?
The Road Less Stupid. There's hundreds of them. They're all, whatever, doesn't matter. Even one of my favorite negotiation books is Never Split the Difference. It's a hostage negotiator. He talked about that in negotiations by Voss? Oh, I don't remember. What's another one I really liked? Another cheat code, if you hate reading and you want to help, is just get Audible. It's like $6-7 a month. You get one free Audible book a month. And you could just listen to them. Sometimes they're kind of boring. Sometimes they're really pretty good. So you can listen to it on the car on the way to work, or listen to it an extra few minutes and just get through them slowly that way. I did a lot of that for ones I had to read. Exactly What to Say by Phil, it's a super easy one. Phil something. But it's called Exactly What to Say, and they have a real estate edition. All sorts of anything. All you're doing is making yourself better. Whatever it is.
May I make a recommendation or a suggestion for a book?
Yeah, which one, Claire?
There is a book which is actually management, but it has to do with accountability, expectations, and how to hold people accountable for results. The name of the book is How Did That Happen? It's, you can't buy it through Barnes & Noble, but you can order it through Amazon. It's by Roger Connors and Tom Smith. It's a very interesting book. It talks about accountability, communication, what happens when, it's actually it says holding people accountable for results the positive and principled way.
Yep, that's
I
good.
really recommend it strongly.
What's the title again?
How did that happen?
Oh, how did it happen?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got a couple other ones. I'll just read off some of my favorite ones that I've read. 10x is easier than 2x. That one's a pretty good one. The hard thing about hard things. The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. That one's really good. Some of these were just okay. If you struggle with caring about people, caring about people, what they think about you, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F is a good one. If that's something you struggle with.
Is that, I'm sorry, is that for when you struggle to, like,
If you care too much how people, you care, about what people think about you.
oh, I don't care.
Like if you're struggle with, oh, I have to do this because otherwise they won't like me, so I'm doing this. That's a good one.
Pretty good.
Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. That's a very man book. You want to be a tough man. The Road Less Stupid, I said. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willenick. Jocko's a former Navy SEAL, but it's really good about taking ownership of your life.
Is that taking ownership, you said?
That's a good book. Ever Split the Difference? You could go back to the old school How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really old one, but it's still very relevant. Yeah, that should be good.
What do you think about 80-20, Atomic Habits, 5 a.m. Club?
Yeah. Oh, great. Atomic Habits is really good. The 1% Rule, that was one I actually liked a lot in real estate. That helped me narrow down goals. Instead of focusing on the big goal at the end of the year that you don't accomplish, you get sad. Focus on breaking it down to the daily goal and then celebrate each day when you hit your goal each day. That was a good one.
The one that I like a lot is the Power of One More.
Mm-hmm. I didn't read that.
You know, a short book also is Who Moved My Cheese? That's a very,
That's a good one.
it's a very interesting book. It's very small, doesn't take very long to read.
I like those quick, easy ones. Makes me feel good. I read 2 books today. One to my kids and one to me. Awesome. All right, that's all I got. Have you guys anything else? We good?
Good, thank you.
All right, have a great rest of your day. Go do something today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I called your brother, I talked to him, but he wasn't able to help me, but I will keep his number. But I appreciate you.
Yes, because what you friend wants to do, I think it will work for an accountant.
You know what, it's
Yeah,
not.
I had got both numbers. So I need to tell him when I can get it. So I think it's next. All right, have a nice weekend.
You just said it, right? That's it.
No sé si viste hay un río de
So what you guys got to do?
un tornado.
Oh,
Still
my
working on
pleasure.
that?
Mira la línea arriba. No sé si te lo puedo mirar, voy a ver, pero se mira very scary. Es cerca de Newport Beach, creo. Sí, Newport Beach. ¿Para dónde se fue? Y está en Young Beach, está lloviendo ya. Está fuerte la tormenta.
3 days. Fine. Maybe I should come and look at what you're doing.
Cause I don't have,
A la playa, pues, ahorita, hay un
so what am I doing here? Just this. It's, my daughter came and picked me up today. I tell you, I feel more like the child than the mother. And, cause we take them down and stay right and as soon as I get in the car, I am this, I'm early this morning. For you to be complaining, everything is okay. It's good, you know. I say, really? Yeah, yeah, but you know, when you have to add, she says, you really need to stop going backwards. You and her, I'm like, why is she preaching to me? It really feels bad when your own kid preaches to you. Made me feel so bad. Like, this is not helping me. Let me complain.
Yes, that's what I was
I
thinking.
can't complain to her. You ask me questions, I'm like,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
Have a good day,
Ya,
everybody.
¿qué les pasa? Es el hermano.